Alrighty, welcome back to Slightly Less Scripted. We're here with John Fitzpatrick, graduate of 2008, and Luke Stevenson, graduate of 2015. Did I get both those right?
Yes, you did.
Say everything right?
Yeah.
Awesome. Good. Welcome back to CC, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.
How you guys doing?
Good. It looks a lot different from when I was here.
Yeah, a little different. This is still same hall. But
You guys were both at this campus entirely?
I was 1 year at Breakfast Drive.
You had 1 year at Breakfast.
when I
That's
came
what I
in.
thought. Okay.
Yeah.
So how different is it from Breakfast Drive?
Oh, I mean, Breakfast Drive, I was in the last year at the school, and we just kind of needed to keep it standing.
I heard stories about that last year that was basically duct tape holding it together.
Yeah. So it looks a little different.
Well, thanks for making the trip out here. You guys just went on a tour, right?
Oh yeah.
Cool. What was your favorite kind of highlight points?
I mean, the observatory is pretty cool. The fact that you have an observatory that was probably my favorite.
I like the sim racing room. That was awesome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah.
That's a new thing here. So that room wasn't intentionally designed for sim racing, but we kind of took it over and made it into that.
And
So
you're the esports coach too?
correct.
Yeah.
Yep. So I came back here in 2019 and started the esports program. That was an interesting time with COVID and all that. I'm sure you guys probably have some good COVID stories too with television.
Right when I moved to LA.
Oh, is it okay?
The week of everything shut down was March 17th.
So kind of what inspired you guys to get into TV a little bit? I guess we'll go one by one.
Well, when I was here at Catholic Central, I was the sports editor.
Okay.
Mr. Petrovich was my teacher, and he convinced me to write for the paper. And then my junior year, myself and Ronnie Katakowski, the graduate, we started the broadcast club back up. And so then I went to Syracuse for broadcast journalism. And then when I was there, I kind of wasn't the biggest fan of it. So then I transitioned. I bounced around a little bit through advertising and just general newspaper reporting. And then I kind of fell into TV, radio, film.
Mm-hmm.
I just like
It's called Newhouse, right? In Syracuse?
Yep.
I got a little bit of Syracuse knowledge. We had 2 kids go there last year for esports.
Nice.
I mentioned that earlier. It makes so much more sense now when you're like, oh, it's a good school.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get it now.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Newhouse School of, what is it, communications? It's very closely tied with the esports program for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I in college I went to U of M and then didn't really know what I wanted to do. Always liked movies, and then was like, hey, I can probably do that. See what's going on. So then got a degree in their film TV. Then when I graduated, I was like, all my friends were out in West Coast. So I moved out there and figured it out.
Let me just dive right in.
Yeah, pretty much.
That's got to be kind of scary, right?
It definitely was. And then especially because when I was driving out with my dad in March 2020 and then just watching the news, everything was shutting down. So when I got there, there was nothing going on. It was a little tough, but then I found Fitz online and it all worked out.
Yes, I think that's got to be, we got to go through that kind of, that story a little bit. Cause I remember seeing that, through the social media post that was kind of one of the quotes was that you just look for CC grads in the area.
Yeah, that's what I did. I was like, hey, I need a job. At least some people will talk to me. I searched them all. Fitz said he was working on a ghost hunter show. And I was like, that's kind of cool. Sent him a message and worked out from there.
I mean, Luke could not have picked the worst time
to
come out to LA.
It was tough, but it worked out.
Yeah.
That's so amazing. And for you, was it a kind of a no-brainer to help him out as soon as he said he's a CC grad?
Yeah, of course. I mean, especially being a CC grad, but also in the film industry, it's really just trying to help out good people. And you want to bring people on to your projects that will work hard and you can trust. And it's really more about that than any kind of skills.
Yeah.
To be honest, if it's somebody, when you're just starting out, you want somebody that you can trust. And I knew if he went to CC, it's somebody I could trust. And I liked that he was just reaching out, and I felt bad for him because it was COVID, because everything was shut down, especially those first couple of months in the film industry. Like no one knew how to handle things, no one knew what to do, no one knew how to deal with all the changing rules and everything like that. So I wasn't working at that point either. We were down on our show, so I was happy to talk to him. And as soon as production started back up again, I got him on.
I think that's just the amazing story, kind of about CC. It's one of those things like when you see someone with the interlocking C's or blue and white, and you're just like, CC? Yep.
Yeah.
And then there's like an immediate connection.
Yeah.
It's almost like a shared experience. Like we all.
Were you about to say trauma?
I was trying to play it in a better role, in a better light than that, Sean. But a little bit.
Yeah, it's also surprising. I'll wear a CC sweatshirt just out on the beach, and I'll get people coming up to me, even if they haven't gone there, but they'll be like, my cousin went there, or my dad. And it's crazy how many people just spread across the country have heard of CC.
100%.
Yeah.
I have some esports connections throughout kind of the country, especially with collegiate. And I remember one of my friends out in Colorado sends me interlocking C's on the back of a truck, and he's like, "Is this your guys?" I was like, "Yeah, that was us." he's like, "That's interesting to see it all the way out here." I was like, "I'm not surprised by that whatsoever." But like every time you leave, you can kind of find that.
Definitely.
So in terms of the show, for those who don't know, Expedition Unknown, kind of what is it? What's the purpose of the show? What do you guys kind of get into?
So I'll give you the pitch that I try to get people to work with us. It's on the Discovery Channel. The show's in its 16th season, and it's unique in that it's a documentary, it's unscripted, but it's a documentary format, and it really focuses on travel, adventure, and archaeology. So each episode is basically an hour-long documentary we follow our host, Josh Gates, and each episode focuses on a search for a shipwreck or trying to find a lost city or joining an archaeological site. This past year, Luke and I got to go to Petra in Jordan and join a team there that was digging under the Treasury, which is the famous building from Indiana Jones. A lot of people probably recognize that. But it's cool because we actually get to work with real scientists and professors and archaeologists and just kind of give them a platform to showcase their work and see what they're doing. And it's exciting.
So you guys basically get to travel for a living.
Yeah, but
what are the coolest places that you guys maybe each think? What's the coolest place?
I think I got a little spoiled because my first episode that I ever worked on was Cambodia, and we were up in some temple complexes up in the north of that country. So that's probably still top. It was just I think it was also just the newness of it all, traveling like that for work. It still holds the most for me.
I was nervous that Luke was going to have a culture shock, and the third day he was at a separate hotel, and I showed up and he was in a hammock on the front of this really small remote hotel.
This little guest house.
Swinging, drinking a Cambodian beer with all the drivers talking. It was pretty funny.
As much as we could. It was a little bit of a language barrier, but it was still so much fun.
Yeah. Cambodia was pretty cool. I was with Luke for that. We've been lucky enough to go to Egypt a few times in the show, and Egypt is just everything you look at is 4,000 years old and cool and historic. And we've done, I know you got to go to a couple shows in Micronesia on these kind of like small remote islands. There's some World War II Pacific theater stories out there that we covered. So that was pretty cool.
So when you guys are in the kind of midst of production, how long is kind of that season? Are you guys working all year round, or are there some off periods?
That's another thing that we're lucky with is the show runs pretty much the whole year. Because we do typically 12 episodes a season, but a lot goes into it to plan everything out. But we typically have a few months down in the summer, but other than that, we work pretty much year round. Yeah.
And we're traveling probably every 2 weeks, probably every 6. So for every 6 weeks, we're traveling 2 weeks of the show.
Does it ever get tiring?
Yes.
For Fitz more than me, he travels more than I do. So I'm sure it's way worse for him.
It's exciting. It's what I love to do. I've gotten lucky. I've been on the show for 6 years, and it's the perfect kind of show for me. But yeah, we have about 10 days to make an episode. That includes travel, and a lot of places we go to are hard to get. So it's a lot of like we land. We have a 16-hour flight. We land. We have to get cameras built and then be filming in 2 hours. Each day is about probably 15 to 16 hours, and it's the whole 7 days a week.
Wow.
So it's a lot. It's exhausting, but it's worth it.
And how big's the entire crew?
About 10 of us.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. So only about 10. I would have guessed higher.
Yeah, it's 10 in the field, and then probably the entire staff with folks in the office and some of the executives is probably about 20.
Wow.
But in the field, we have 3 camera, a tech person, and an audio, and then a couple producers. And
we'll do episodes back to back. So as one team is filming an episode, there'll be a team at the next location prepping with a field producer. So Fitz gets to do both episodes back to back. I'm usually just on one, and then I'll travel home with the gear that we won't be using, or I'll be at the next one waiting for the team to arrive.
And 16 seasons.
Yeah.
That's incredible for television.
Yeah. Our host, Josh, has been doing it for a while. He's both the host, but he's also the executive producer. So he kind of runs the whole show. And he's got a crazy work ethic.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
So, and each one's basically a year, right?
Yeah.
So it's been a 16-year show.
Yeah.
I think that's a testament to the show, to the crew, and to the host.
Yeah.
That's amazing. And you guys just recently won an Emmy for the show, correct?
Yeah. It's been a long time coming. It was the travel adventure category, which is kind of perfect for our show.
And that was for the whole show, right? So everyone on the crew, technically speaking, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what was that experience like?
It was pretty exciting. It's, I've been out. I moved to LA in 2013. I know you were out there in 2020.
2020, yeah.
So it's just, it's hard because creative awards are subjective. It's not like a sports award. It's whoever scores more points or scores more goals. But with a creative award, it's subjective, but it's nice to have people in your field kind of recognizing the work that you've done and the product that you've put on the screen. I think that was fulfilling.
I feel a little spoiled because I'm one of the younger guys on the team, and first time for a lot of us nominated, and then we won, and everyone else is like, it's a great accomplishment, but especially for everyone who's been doing it for years and years, I'm happy for them. But it feels a little like surreal that is just first win, and I was like, this is really cool, but I need to like really feel that it's not like going to happen all the time.
Sure. That makes sense. Sometimes it's not a direct comparison because obviously you're working on the show, but I'd probably liken it to like a student maybe being kind of like more of a role player on a team, or like you win a championship and you're like, but was I like a main contributor? This is my first time on the team kind of thing. But I've always said this to anyone that's on the esports team too. Like, I feel like if you are part of the team and you contribute any amount into that success, then it's like it's fully deserved.
Definitely.
You think about how many risks, how many things that you have to do to even get in that position, right?
Oh, definitely.
Well, and the thing with our team is it is so small that every single, it sounds corny, but like every single person is needed to make the show move
plays
forward.
A role.
Yeah. There's so many things that go into it that there's some episodes that we don't have Luke on when we're traveling, and we have to do, sometimes if it's a smaller place and we have to condense the team, it's hard to make it work without your full team. So every single person plays a role.
Yeah.
And in terms of the travel, I guess this would kind of be interesting, but you guys are obviously traveling to so many different places, maybe kind of isolated too. How does it work in terms of like the actual customs of everything and the actual part of like you guys are bringing a lot of equipment into these countries. There's got to be language barriers.
There's a lot of research of what goes into each country, what's allowed, what's not allowed. We work with local producers in each country as well, who are very familiar with production processes. They will know all the standards and what we need to have submitted through the customs offices in each country.
Do you guys rent gear there, or do you ship your own gear, or kind of both?
We travel with all of our own gear. So we typically have about 35 cases, which is fun when we show up to the check-in desk at United and somebody's going on vacation and they get behind us. But we have a pretty set process that as soon as the gate agent understands what we're doing, it goes smoothly. But it's tricky. I don't think we've lost a case in my probably 50 episodes, which has been good.
That was going to be my next question. Has anything ever been stolen or lost?
Not since I've been on.
Yeah. Well, we carry on enough equipment that if every piece of our baggage was lost, we could at least shoot something.
Good.
Yeah, we travel with an audio mixer and our cameras and some batteries. So if the worst case happened, we could still make a show.
You guys are showing up early to the airport.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Has there ever been a missed flight or anything like that?
We were doing an episode on the Canary Islands, and there was a language barrier. They speak Spanish there. We had our local producer, but the woman was very overwhelmed, and we were the first ones there, so we backed up the entire plane. And after a while, she just gave up and sent all our bags through and didn't charge us anything, and just sent us to the plane. We got about $4,000 in baggage for free because she just had a breakdown and said, "You need to get away from us.
I can't handle this, right?
Yeah.
Just go ahead."
Yeah. But we do, like Luke said, there's usually a local production team that we work with that helps facilitate that, and then helps us deal with permitting and going to a lot of these sites, and just makes the process easier.
Yeah, I think that's it. Almost sounds like a dream job, right? Like in terms of the travel and just always exploring. Would you guys ever envisioned yourself doing this in high school?
Not really.
Yeah, no. You don't really realize what types of jobs are out there. high school, I took a production class in high school. It was fun. I enjoyed it. It probably led to me wanting to do film and production in college, but you don't really envision these types of shows when you're applying for jobs. You think of big Hollywood movie sets, but then you're like, oh, there's more of the jobs are in the unscripted, reality type shows that are filming a lot. And it's cool now that we're there, but definitely not what I envisioned.
Yeah, for me, I always loved history. So this is kind of a perfect marriage of I got to do TV film and do that kind of thing, but also do these kind of documentaries essentially. And most traditional documentaries, you spend years and years and years on it. And this is a little bit different because it's such a breakneck pace that I have to become an expert in something in 2 months and figure out the story we're telling. And then it's done and get to move on to the next thing. But that's great because every week I'm learning, I'm reading books, watching documentaries, things like that, and learning about a topic, and then getting to go out and go to some of these places, some of these sites, and talk to these archaeologists is pretty exciting.
Right. That part's probably got to be a little bit challenging in terms of different cultures and the story that you guys are trying to tell, trying to encompass that in one episode.
Yeah.
Right. You're probably like very high level, right? In
Yeah.
terms of what you're trying to get across
Yeah.
to the viewer.
And there's a natural aversion, I think, from a lot of people, especially in the academic community, when they hear like reality television and they think that's going to be some kind of manufactured drama, or we're going to be throwing drinks in people's faces or things like that. And once they understand that we actually are just showing their work, then they get excited because it's something that you've been focusing on your whole life, like this niche topic. And then somebody's coming in and it's literally just tell us what you're doing, show us your work. And that's exciting when we kind of break through that and they realize that we're there to help them and make a TV show about their work. Is pretty cool.
It's also good promotion for these sites because a lot of them are funded through government grants or university grants. And then if they can show to a wider audience what they're doing, they can use that to hopefully get more seasons of whatever dig they're doing and, just keep going because that's all they want to do. And that's all we want to help them do.
Have you guys ever gone into an episode thinking it's going to go one way and then it kind of goes the other way in terms of story?
Definitely. Yeah. I mean, you can go in, what's the Mike Tyson line is everyone's got a plan until they get punched in the face.
Yeah.
I mean,
until you're on site, you don't know.
Yeah. We go out. I mean, we try to be as buttoned up as possible. We have a schedule. We have a pretty detailed outline of what we're going to shoot, what the interviews are going to cover. Like I said, our host Josh has been doing this for so long that it's crazy the anticipation that he has of what's going to go wrong and what needs to be done and how we're going to shoot it. But yeah, as soon as you go out there, especially with the shows that are like at an archaeological site, you don't know what you're going to find. You don't know what they're going to uncover. So you have to be ready to pivot or tell whatever story you have. So that's always no rest.
Just on like that Cambodia episode, we were at this temple site for 5 days and we were finding some cool stuff, but it was the very last day that they pulled up this wall to a complex and they found this lion statue underneath it. And we had to adjust the schedule for that final day because we're like, we can't not film this awesome statue being uncovered. So that, that we had to adjust our whole schedule for a couple days just so we could stay there and uncover it. So you never know what's going to happen.
Yeah, I was with a cameraman out shooting B-roll. I think Luke, you texted me and she just said they found the lion. We have to change our flights.
Yeah. You just have to adjust because you hope that you're going to find something cool, and when you do, you have to get it.
So on these shows, when the host is like find something surprising, it's kind of actually real. It's smokes! Actually, we found it. Yeah. So none of it is scripted beforehand in terms of that.
No, the one thing that we do is we have a pretty close relationship with the people that we're working with, and we'll try to time when we're there to the best possible chances of them making some kind of discovery. So we wouldn't ever show up at the beginning of an excavation because that's when they're setting up tents and they're getting all their processes ready, and we try to time it where it's they're a couple weeks away from finishing, so they've actually broken ground and they've started making progress. But that's about it.
Do they usually have it for those kinds of things? Do they usually have a pretty good idea of what's in the ground?
Depends, I would say.
Whenever anyone tells us that there's 100% certainty we're going to find something, we know that we won't find that thing. If someone says, we know that there's a shipwreck out there, we're going to go out and find it, we know 100% where it is, we'll never find it.
Well, what kind of technology do they use in terms of these sites?
We use for like the ground-based excavations.
Yeah.
There's a lot of GPR, which is ground penetrating radar.
They've used LiDAR on a few sites. For shipwrecks, they'll use sonar, side scan sonar. You know,
good old-fashioned metal detectors.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
So
people love the metal detecting scenes.
Yeah.
Where Josh, our host, is probably at his most fun because it's kind of, it's Wild West out there. You can just go scan and, run around in the field a bit, and it's a good time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you really won't know what you find.
Yeah.
You'll find beer tabs. That's what you'll find.
A lot of beer tabs. But that's fun. And I think one of the things that I've liked the most is we've done this so much, and there's both our host Josh and a lot of producers in the team. So everybody has contacts, and it's cool when you get to link up to really successful, smart people that didn't know each other, and they actually can go do something else that actually furthers the science of the research. We did this Petra episode. Our main archaeologist was this guy named Pierce Paul in Jordan. He's been working at the site, and we connected him with this guy named Brent Seals at the University of Kentucky, and he has this really impressive scanning technology that he can take like charred papyrus from 2,000 years ago and run it through an X-ray. They can unravel it, and they can pull out the pigments in the lead and read what was written on these like black ashes. And they didn't know each other, and we got to connect them for the show. And then they've done a couple more projects together, which is cool.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's unbelievable. In terms of your guys' day-to-day, kind of walk me, maybe each of you guys, walk me in a day in the life on the show in terms of your guys' jobs.
I mean, for me in particular, I manage both the creative and the logistics. So on one hand, we work with the story producers to, there's not like a script, but it's making sure we have an outline and we're covering the right beats. But then there's a lot of logistic work to make sure that, like we talked about the crews getting in, that we have permits, that we have cars, that we have hotels, that we have places to eat, things like that. And I kind of oversee all the episodes. So there's, each episode has a team of 4 producers, but then I kind of oversee all those producers. So it's making sure that each episode in the future is set and kind of trying to lay the tracks for future episodes that are shooting in maybe 3 or 4 months.
Yeah, I like to think that a lot of our job is making sure people show up on time on the day wherever we're going to be filming, which is more difficult than it might think if you're filming in a different country in a few weeks. But I also do a lot of work on, if you watch our episodes, you'll see we have historical recreations, which are, slow motion, artistic shots, artistically showing whatever we're doing in the episode. So a lot of sourcing costumes, props, locations for that. If we are doing a World War II episode and it's about finding a lost plane that went down in the ocean somewhere, finding one of those planes that still exists somewhere in the country, we can go film there. So a lot of that research that needs to be done, that's what I'm handling.
That's a stressful side of the show, the recreations, because you can do all this great work in the field, filming, these archaeological sites and these really impressive people talking, but then it's usually just Luke and I with the camera shooting the recreations. And if we don't do our homework and somebody's has the wrong flight insignia, or they're wearing the wrong kind of hat, or it's the wrong kind of plane, it makes everything look bad.
And there's people out there who know World War II like the back of their hand, and they will catch if a detail is wrong. And so we try our best not to have those details wrong.
That's got to be so tough because you're trying to become an expert in a week or two before you go on site to film or to cover this episode. Whereas there are people who spend their entire lives studying just that thing.
Yeah.
Do you guys run into that kind of like fact checking constantly and like do the best to hit the high notes? Like, how does that work?
Every expert that we work with in the shows, I repeatedly remind them that I'm a TV producer and to pay attention to what I'm saying, because for that reason, like you know this, you've done the story so much, you've done so much research. I've been reading this for a month. So please pay attention to what we're doing. A lot of times when we finish an episode, which is another thing that's not done a lot in Hollywood, is we'll send the episode, like a rough cut of it, to our experts to have them do a fact pass just to make sure what we're saying is accurate. But yeah, I actually had a meeting Friday last week. We're shooting an episode in the Philippines next year, and we're doing a big dive episode, and there's a bunch of different parties. And I think 3 times in the meeting, I said, remember, I'm a producer, so anything that's going to go wrong out there, you need to think of. Like, I don't know all these things, so please make sure that you're checking us as we're doing this process.
So I'm guessing at some point, if you guys get something wrong or there's something, I mean, is it, you guys have to go and reshoot that, or is it something where sometimes you're like, all right, that's just not making it in?
I mean, you can sometimes fix it with voiceover and B-roll if it's, a minor, or if it's a line that we need to change. We work hard to not really be wrong on that sort of stuff. And we're also, looking at these episodes more as an overview 101. We're not going so specific. That
Granular with it.
Yeah, that it'll be wrong. We're going more overview. So
have you guys ever ran into losing footage, corrupted cards, anything like that?
No, we have, there's a person on our team that their title is media manager. Our team is a guy named Cody Lee. And Cody's the best in the business. Because that's an underrated role, that if you lose a card,
right,
you lose a whole day of footage.
Yeah.
And especially if you're in a jungle somewhere and you've spent a whole day, you're not going to get that back. So on our team, Cody, he has a lot. He has all the cards from the cameras. He has GoPros. He has drone cards. If we're at one of these sites where we're using a strange piece of tech, he has to take the footage from that. Then every night he has a system, and he goes down and he dumps all the media and he backs it up all night. And that's the scary part that nobody really thinks about. Like
Sean in our office.
Yeah.
He's our Cody.
Yeah.
I'm always on these guys. I'm like, naming conventions, file structure, subfolder structure. You guys need to follow this.
Yeah.
In a weird way, we work with a lot of files and stuff, and that happens to be not a strong suit
It's
of
not
mine.
like we're filming in Egypt or anything, but would Drive breaks $1 million, we need that clip.
Yeah.
And also for our editors who are not, on set with us, they need a good breakdown of what we shot each day, just so when they, in 6 weeks, when they go in to edit it, they know exactly what is there, because they don't want to watch, if we're filming for 16-hour days, they don't want to watch 16 hours of 4 different cameras. They just won't have the time to get through it all.
Yeah.
So someone's kind of marking down which pieces of time are kind of the important parts for the editors.
So we have a story producer, and they are obviously in charge of story. They write the outlines. They work a lot with the experts. But as we're filming, they have the outline up and they're noting in real time. And they kind of are building the episode each night. So then when we finish, we send that to the post team. So they kind of have the episode outline built out, and they have all the corresponding, what cars it was shot on, what camera. They're explaining, like Luke said, what tech was used. Because a lot of times especially a lot of our dive episodes, you might have a minute of interesting footage in a dive, and the rest of it is not. It's just water or people in the boat. So they'll flag, at this moment on camera A was when we saw the ship, or a shark came by or something like that.
So is there anyone that with the show that does on-site production and then also helps out with the editors in the back room, anyone that oversees basically A to Z the whole thing?
It's really our host Josh.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah. He'll sit in the bay with the editors and go through everything.
Right, because I would feel like I kind of was into cinema production, especially here at CC a little bit. And I just remember when I was on-site filming, it helped me way more in the editing room, because I would just know I remember that scene. I want to get that B-roll footage because that will look good here. Or you kind of build the show a little bit in your head before you get into the editing bay.
I think it's really important, if you're going to do production, to work both in the field and the post side of things, so you know how each world lives. Because there's a lot of times that out in the field, you need to get that coverage that that the post team will need to put something together. And and vice versa, when you're in post, a lot of times understanding what it takes to get that shot in the field.
To get that shot.
Helpful, yeah.
You also need the scenes to transition you from scene to scene, because we won't film in order necessarily, but if you're at a dig site and you're going to be driving somewhere else, you might save those driving shots for last, and you just don't want to forget getting those, because you can't jump cut from one to another. It'll be so jarring. So it's good to have that, to edit a bit so what you need to fully put it together. All that interstitial stuff is super important.
I think one of the more impressive things in my time on the show was when we were in Cambodia and our host Josh was diving in this horrible moat. It was really gross. It had a bunch of bad stuff in it. There was there's a lot of these weird sea snakes in the area that are if they bite you, you're dead. There's no...
And stagnant water water filled with probably bacteria and other parasites.
He was diving in this moat, and he was directing cameras while he was diving, understanding what we were shooting and how it was going to play in the edit, to make sure, because we had found some pieces from the statue that they're looking for. So it was a really important moment. We had a drone in the air, and we had an ROV, an underwater camera, and he was literally directing the camera in the moat as he was filming the scene. And I was like, this is really impressive because I would want to get out of that water as fast as I could right now.
And he's thinking in the background about all the things that need to happen.
Yeah. He's doing the actual archaeological work. He's following the story, but he's also thinking 6 months down the line how this is going to look in post, which is it's a hard thing to
that's
do.
incredible.
It's a skill, definitely.
It feels like your guys' jobs are not necessarily 9 to 5.
No,
I feel like this is 24/7, right?
Yeah.
Probably constantly thinking about it.
Yeah. Especially when you have to have calls with people across the world who are on vastly different time zones, and people maybe in London, people in Australia. You have to time it up to get everyone on the same page. So you're working at strange hours just to make it work with everyone else.
Yeah.
You guys, is there ever a time where people are taking kind of like paid time off and there's like a rolling, or do you guys have like dedicated times you're like, hey, if you're going to go on vacation, go on it at this time period?
One of the challenges of most jobs in the film industry is we're freelance.
Okay.
So it's like you're only paid when you're working. So for us, when we're in the middle of production, we can't just take a vacation. You can't. A lot of times we know that we're filming from August through June. Most people try to take vacations in July, but it's pretty hard to say like, oh, I'm taking a trip to Hawaii this week when there's stuff you need to shoot. Like we're shooting that week.
Probably hard to be like, I'm sick this day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, you're showing up.
Yeah.
Definitely. Especially if you're shooting, like you get run down a bit just from hours.
Yeah.
But you just got to keep going. There's only 10 of you out there. You got to keep going.
Kind of the perseverance of it all.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's definitely like a team sport when you're out there. It's everyone is trying to work together to accomplish a goal, and you need to be mindful of basically your crew and your team members to make sure that everybody is pulling their weight, but make sure they're okay because it's long days.
I will say though, the good thing about this show is it scratches the itch of travel. So I don't feel like I am, craving going on vacation when I'm working on this show.
Your vacations maybe to go home and get some sleep, right?
Yeah.
Opposite.
Yeah.
In terms of advice for maybe high school students here that would want to get into film, TV, kind of, what would you recommend? I'm sure, you probably don't have to have it all figured out in high school or even in college. It could be something that is even later down the road. But what are some key things you'd give advice to?
Start?
I would say if you want to, kind of what we were saying with the whole post-production of it all, if you want to get into creating videos or creating media, learn how to edit. You can download an Adobe software or even just Final Cut for fairly cheaply, and just learn what it takes to film something on your phone, download it, and how it cuts up. That's hugely beneficial for just learning how things go together and how to create a simple story.
Yeah. And I would say for me, don't say just go out, and if you want to shoot something, just go out and do it. Like for me, and I appreciate Luke did this too when he moved out. A lot of people in LA are always making things. There's low budget movies, no budget movies. And for me, as long as it wasn't interfering with my family or my paying jobs, I would always say yes to any project because you're always going to learn something. You're always going to meet people. It's that California saying of like, it's not what you know, it's who you know. You never know who you're going to meet. You never know who's going to have a project, or even like Luke, when he sent me that email on LinkedIn, like I just happened to not be working. I know a lot of people that weren't working. And I was like, yeah, I can help him if he wants it. And he just asked. And then we had a couple projects coming up and I was like, oh, this kid Luke messaged me. Like, you never know. I would just always say yes, always go out. You're always going to learn something at the very least. So even if it's a bad project, if you have a bad time, you're going to learn what doesn't work. So,
and I would also say, like, learn how to work with people. Like, if you break down what we're doing, it's, just working with people. The technicalities of it aren't necessarily the most difficult, but it's just doing a team project every day, all day. And some people can't do that, but if you're good on a team and you're good working with other people, that's what you need. Like, those are the skills that you need to work on: communication, team building, stuff of that sort.
Yeah, your technical skills, maybe in the editing room or maybe on field or whatnot. You'd probably take someone that's maybe more of a team player and less technical.
100%.
Than the other way around, where it's like, oh, that guy's really technical, but he's really hard to work with.
Yeah. When we're in the field, I value somebody that is more of a team player and a hard worker 10 times over that. I'd much rather have somebody who's good for the team, that'll help everybody out, that'll move the project forward. That's way more valuable to me.
And that makes sense when you guys are traveling so much too. You mentioned it, but I feel like being able to trust people probably plays a huge part in it. trusting that, I know he's going to have the right equipment at the right time at the right place, or I know that I can trust him when I go tell him it's to do something. He's going to go and just get it done, right? You're not going to have to double check his work or anything like that.
Trusting that if we have a 6 a.m. call, you'll be awake for it, so I won't have to go bang on your hotel room door room. Yeah,
I'm sure that happens sometimes too, though.
Very rarely.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
In the industry, yes, and other shows I've worked on. I did when I first started. I did a couple shows in Las Vegas, and we were out there for 3 or 4 months, and we lost a lot of people that we just had to fire them because they could never show up. But in terms of our crew, there are very few people.
Yeah.
The only time really anyone misses a call time is if their phone died and they just slept through the alarm.
Right.
And
then I become their alarm and I'm banging on the door.
Yeah. But yeah, because if someone doesn't show up to we're going to hike him out the next day, and the camera guy decides that he's going to go out and party all night, doesn't show up, like that can bring a whole production down. So you need people you can trust.
That seems like that would be, that would probably be the biggest challenge, is just literally not showing up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's a key advice for for everything in life, is just keep showing up. And like you said too, saying yes to projects, right? You never know which one might hit or whichever one is going to be kind of lead you to the next thing.
Yeah.
In your phase.
Yeah. It's just, it's a numbers game of, I think in any career, of just learning. You just keep doing things, keep taking projects, keep working at it, and you're going to learn and gain experience along the way.
And be friendly to everyone, because people want to hire people that they know are good workers and also that they're friends with. So if you make bad impressions on people, they're not going to want to hire you. So every job you work on, just be friendly, show up on time, and work your hardest, and you'll keep getting jobs.
Yeah.
I like to think Luke and I have that Midwest mentality when we're talking to people out there, that just generally be a good person.
Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty easy to do.
Can you guys kind of tell when someone's from the Midwest?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do people think you guys are a little too nice?
Yeah.
Maybe a bit. Yeah.
I've gotten that.
Where they just kind of like, what's wrong with you? Why are you holding the door open for everyone?
It's also assuming other people are also going to be nice. They're like, why are you so naive that someone else will be as nice as you are?
Yeah.
Like, why are you not as guarded?
Right. You might trust someone a little bit more, and then other people are like, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah. Yeah. I was accused, especially in the earlier seasons, of being too optimistic when I would talk to people and be like, they said that thing's out there. There's a treasure chest out there. And they're like, I don't know. You gotta be you gotta think a little more. And I was like, okay.
Yeah, you're just like, all right. Well, he said it's going to be there, so it 100% is going to be there. Like, we've been doing this a while.
Yeah. We get a lot of people sending emails, contacting the show, saying, "Oh, I've found Amelia Earhart's lost plane, or I've found some fabled missing treasure," and you just always have to take them with a grain of salt.
You guys probably have a tip line or something like that.
Yeah, we have.
There's an email address that people send stuff to.
Yeah,
yeah.
What's the most interesting thing that you guys have, or someone has said that they had?
There's a book from the 80s called The Secret.
Yeah.
That was basically, this guy had 12 treasure boxes in state parks around the country. This was at a time when people didn't value parks as much. So he would literally just, like in Grant Park in Chicago or in Golden Gate Park in San Francisco, he just dug a hole and put a box in there. And that has become kind of like a fantastic treasure hunt that there's a book with clues and paintings, and it's kind of like a national treasure type thing. And people get very into that. And our show's done 3 episodes on it. And we actually found one in one of the episodes. And we get a lot of notes from people trying to crack the clues to find other boxes.
Where the other boxes are at.
And the state parks don't like this.
Yeah, I'm sure not.
They don't want you to dig at all.
Yeah.
That's crazy that's even a true story, though.
It's a really interesting book. And the artwork, I think it's 12 cities. The artwork's beautiful, and it's a great story.
And there's 12 poems with them. So if you like riddles and treasure hunts, go get the book and go try to find them.
What was in the box?
It's a ceramic box, and there's a key in it. And once you found the key, you were supposed to call the creator, and he would send you a gemstone. But the creator died, I believe.
Passed away?
Yeah,
like 2008 maybe, or something like that. Yeah.
But I believe that his family still kind of runs it, and the option is still out there that if you find the key, you can send it to them. But that's probably what we get the most tips from. And there's a lot of like, people are always looking for the Amber Room, which was this golden room that was stolen by the Nazis. Amelia Earhart's plane is another one.
If you do enough research and development for episodes, you'll find that there's the 15 big hidden treasure stories in the country, and there's people looking for them. There's like the Lost Dutchman mine in Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
That's like this fabled mountain shaft that people are looking for that supposedly has a lot of gold. There's El Dorado. People think they've found that. So there's a lot of famous ones that people send stuff in that we just know are not real.
What's been the most expensive find?
Most expensive find?
Would you say maybe a shipwreck because of the ship, or are you
trying to think?
I mean, I don't know. Like, we found an engine to a World War II plane up on the mountain in Norway, which is probably worth a good amount. We weren't able to move that because you can't take a 600-pound engine off a mountain in the winter.
Trying to think.
I don't know.
In terms of expensive, we found. I mean, we've never found a treasure chest.
Okay.
That's one thing. We never found buried.
You've never opened up a chest that had just been filled with gold and diamonds and whatnot.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think this the episode that Luke was talking about in Cambodia, where they pulled up the front facade to a temple and this lion statue that was under it. I mean, worth probably, in monetary value, a lot of money, but in cultural significance for these folks that were working on it. Like, it was a huge moment for them because they assign a lot of significance to these statues in the Cambodian tradition. So finding that was pretty cool because it was obviously a big moment for us because we got it for TV and captured it in the documentary, but just seeing the archaeologists there, it was a big moment for them. That was pretty cool.
Wow. Okay. What do you guys do in terms of your downtime a little bit? Like, when you are maybe in production of the show out in these travel locations, what are you guys doing to just kind of chill? I'm guessing, you probably have some time to yourselves as well.
Sleep.
Pretty much. I mean, we get we're working about 6 days a week when we're shooting. So for that off day, for that 7th day, a lot of us are sleeping. If we're in a cool location, we'll definitely go out and, see the sights. Because sometimes we'll be in a country that has a very famous touristy spot, but we're not filming at that spot. So it's hard to get to. So on our day off, we might want to go, like when we were in Egypt, we weren't filming at the pyramids. So on our off day, we all went and, saw the pyramids. So we'll do the touristy stuff too.
That makes sense. You're probably getting your workout in by working on the show.
Yeah.
These long hours. You're I'm not going to go lift weights.
No. For an episode we just did, I think I had 38,000 steps one day. Just up and down.
Yeah, you're probably burning a lot of calories.
Yeah, Luke was mad at me that day.
Yeah, just a bit, but it's okay.
Are you guys big foodies?
Yeah.
What's been the most, I won't say the best place, the most surprising place for food?
I did an episode in Copenhagen, in Denmark, and I was eating a lot of the pickled herring, which sounds very gross and smells gross, but it was really good. I was surprised by that.
So bad smell, good taste?
Yeah.
Interesting.
I was in Iowa doing an episode. We were not. You were there, Fitz. And we went to this small diner. And I couldn't even tell you the name, but it was the best pie I've ever had in my life. It was so good. This mom and pop shop in just middle of nowhere, but it was delicious.
When I first started, I was a lot more adventurous. And then I realized that we were talking about earlier, if I went too adventurous and ate something and got sick, then it would take me down.
Right. It ruined.
And we're also working at spots that do not always have the easiest access to a bathroom. Yeah. So if your stomach gets upset, it's the woods for you.
You guys are probably always carrying Tums and
yeah.
Yeah, we shot an episode in the Amazon and I was eating live slugs and somebody had to get a hold of me and tell me to stop doing that. Because I thought it was cool and fun and adventurous, and somebody was like, "That you're going to get sick, and then you're not going to be able to work."
You guys probably travel with your own water.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, bottled water only in most countries.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was going to say, I feel like that would actually probably be a challenging part of a lot of these places, just having access to to water.
Yeah.
That this seems like it would be a crazy. There's like a crazy feat to just even be on the show and accomplish things.
Yeah. There's a lot of things you wouldn't think about that we need to make sure is ready to go for the crew.
Right. Probably carrying medicine and other things. Right.
Yeah. A lot. If we're in a really really remote place, we'll have a medic travel with us. But at the very least, we have a plan that if something does happen, what we're gonna do.
Here's kind of the emergency plan.
Know where the nearest hospital is.
Yeah.
It's a life support spot, stuff like that.
What's been the farthest amount of, so obviously maybe not like on a plane, but like when you get to a country, what's been the farthest amount of travel that you guys have had to do either by road or by foot?
For me, I did an episode in the Amazon that we flew into this town called Iquitos, which is the largest town in the world that you can't get to by road. And then we went probably 8 hours like into the actual Amazon. And that was like, I was in there and I realized like, oh, I'm far from everything. Like if anything bad happens in here,
we are 8 hours away from
a small town.
From
like
anything.
From not even like a town with
not even a hospital, just from anything.
Yeah. That was pretty rough.
And for me, it was this Norway episode, which we were able to fly there, but there's a town way north of the Arctic Circle called Alta that we were searching for a plane. And once we got to the town, which had about 10,000 people, we drove about an hour up into the mountains and then had to hike for another couple miles to get to where this crash site was. So that was, I mean, we weren't it was still just a couple hours from a good sized town, but it was remote. It was up there.
This would give me panic attacks.
It was
100%. If I was like, I am 8 hours, like I've just trekked 8 hours and now I would have to go 8 hours back.
Yeah.
That is crazy too, because you're going 8 hours to go work.
Yeah.
And then
I was there ahead of the crew for a scout. So we go, a lot of times our field producers will go a week before the crew to kind of see everything. And I had somebody who's their segment producer who's in the same position as Luke. And I realized how it didn't hit me till I stepped off the boat. And then I made him stay in the boat. So I was nervous that he was going to get hurt.
So then you're just sleeping on tents that night, or
that night we had like a riverboat that we were staying in.
Wow. That just seems like the craziest experience ever.
Yeah, that was pretty far.
I mean, just like you said, everything that just goes into just that. But on top of it, you guys are building a show, an episode, a story with all of it.
Yeah.
So I feel like the mental stress.
Yeah. Well, that's like if you forgot even the smallest thing and you can't shoot, like you have nothing. Like if a battery goes down, or if you forget a lens, or you get out there.
Forgot the SD card.
Yeah, exactly.
We're 8 hours away.
I'm thinking about batteries too. Like you guys are probably bringing portable batteries to charge things. Like that's crazy.
Got to bring a generator with you a lot of times. So
oh wow,
a lot, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a little bit different than me forgetting the SD card when I walk down to the gym. I have to track back to our office. You guys would have to go 8 hours, and I mean, this makes a good. When you said trust, 100%, you have to.
Yeah. Well, it's a good. For me, in television, but also just kind of like in a broader business sense of like understanding, if you're managing a team, what each department does. So it's understanding, how the cameras work and how the cameras operate and what the camera team will need and what the audio team will need and what the producers will need. Because if you don't talk to those people and don't bring them into the conversation and can't anticipate what they might need, then that'll put you in a bad spot because you can't really do anything. Then I can have this crazy idea in my head, but if I haven't talked to anybody else or if I don't know what they'll need, you can't accomplish it.
So it helps to be deadly in a few different areas on the show,
at least
right?
Be competent enough to realize what they need and know what that equipment is, what it looks like. So if they need you to go grab it or need you to just so you have eyes on it, so you know that a double check basically.
Yeah, even if it's just as simple as like, hey, don't forget this, right? You, at least you know what it is, kind of thing.
Oh yeah, the whole crew get really annoyed with me because I'll go walk through over.
Are you the double checker?
And be like, you've got this, right? You've got this, right? Yeah, they're sick of that.
Yeah. It's good though. You need it. You don't want to forget anything.
Yeah, this whole entire thing just seems kind of like I mean that's just a really cool story that you guys came from CC from Michigan, moved out, got on the show together. I mean that like truly it's like inspiring for any student, right? You could kind of do whatever you want to do.
Yeah. And I mean it's not one of the things that I learned at CC was just I think hard work trumps all. Like I'm not an auteur. I'm not a great writer. I'm not a great photographer. I just work hard. I worked hard when I was out there. I learned that from going to school here. And I think all the really successful people in any business are just the people that work the hardest. Yeah.
I also think about the work hard. It matters, like work hard, but still work hard in something that you enjoy doing. Like don't tailor what you are doing just because you think it'll make you a lot of money or you think it's what you're supposed to be doing. Do what you want to do and work hard at it, and things will work out, and the
rest will come.
Yeah, and you'll enjoy life more. So.
Yeah.
What are some of the best things that you guys got out of coming to CC?
I think I touched on a little bit in the last answer, but the work ethic was the biggest thing for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, same. I mean, I was on the swim team, and I'd do morning practice, and just like everyone would show up 5:30 a.m. at Mercy, and it's very similar to
That
a day out.
the discipline of
the
it all.
discipline on it all. You know, we're on set and it's everyone has to show up 5 a.m. It's no different, really.
Just keep showing up, kind of thing.
Yeah, and I mean, Luke mentioned it earlier too, but just being a good person. That's the easiest thing you can do, and that can send you really far. Of just being an honest person and trusting people, but being true to your word and just
almost like the motto.
Yeah.
Goodness, discipline, knowledge. In terms of that's kind of what you guys are living and doing.
Yeah. Have a high baseline of all three of those, and you'll be successful.
Yeah.
That's an awesome answer.
Yeah.
In terms of your Catholic Central memories, do you guys have a really memorable experience or a time? Was it maybe drive, boys bowl?
Well, I mean,
something else.
Any drive is the best. Just explaining, even later in life, explaining
the others.
Concept of the drive to the others, to anyone that didn't grow up around here, they just don't understand it. I mean, I've gotten a few people who have reached out to me that didn't know I went to school here that have sent me videos on Instagram of like the assembly match for wrestling or for the esports that have been going around, and they're like, "Did you see this? This is super cool." I was like, "That's my high school. That's awesome."
Do they still do the drive videos each class? Do they still make the videos for the assembly?
Drive skits.
Yeah, the skits.
Yep.
Yeah, there's some really good ones when I was there that still, like, I remember my senior year, the new for the episode 7 of Star Wars came out, and I think it was the juniors that year did a really good parody of that, and it was it blew everyone away, and that's it's still a really good memory.
That is,
for me.
You graduated in 2015, right?
So it would have been the class of 2016, I think, that put together a really good skit.
Yes, 2016 skit, and who the heck? Oh, I remember.
It was good because
but who put it together?
I could not tell you their name.
Trying to remember his name, but I know exactly.
There's with him on the bleachers.
The ending scene on the bleachers with the drone. It's like the first time kids use the drone here, probably on something. Yeah,
that's still really memorable.
And I forget who. David Bullock. Right?
Yeah. That was his name. Yeah.
David Bullock Drive, and he had brought in a lot of money, and they kind of made that was a very good skit because they incorporated a story into the skit. So there was absolutely hilarious parts of the skit, but throughout the whole entire thing, there's an overarching kind of theme, which I think was really difficult to do. I helped with our drive skit in 2018, and I just remember that being like the one that we kept watching of like, let's try to imitate this a little bit.
Yeah, it was really good.
Yeah, they still do it. Actually, I just received the message either yesterday or maybe Friday. The senior class was reaching out, seeing if they were actually able to come in to film today at like 5 or something. I was like, yeah, I'll let you guys in the building. And
5 in the morning?
No, 5.
Good for them. Yeah, that's good.
They're good. They're not that good. Yeah, and they're like, dude, do you know how to turn off the lights in the school? I was like, it depends on which ones. So it should be interesting to see what they're trying to film. They chose a good drive theme this year, though, which I'm looking forward to. It's a little bit different. They did the conferences.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yep. So they're doing, I think, like SEC, Big Ten, all that good stuff for college football.
What did you stick the poor freshman with? What conference?
Oh,
Big 12.
Yeah. Why did I feel like
I think it was Big 12.
Just one of the random ones. Yeah, I can't remember it off the top of my head. Obviously, seniors got the best. I think.
Yeah.
So when we talk about the drive, kind of what is what's your favorite part about the drive?
I just think that it's such a fun moment that brings everybody together at the school. Mm-hmm. Everybody gets really into it. Everyone gets really invested. Each class gets invested. I think it's a good bonding moment for all the students. When I was here, that was always my favorite time of the year.
Mm.
Yeah, definitely. It's just such a break from the normal classes, and it's the most fun you're going to have here. So it's a good time.
It almost seems like it's not real.
Yeah.
I mean, you have half days, no tests, and strictly only job is to raise and bring in money.
Yeah.
It's a hard thing to explain to other people for sure.
Yeah, but as soon as you get that first one freshman year, then you get it, and from there on, it's a great time.
I appreciated when I was here too that how into it the teachers got as well. Mm. It wasn't just like, we got to do this thing for this week. Like they would get into it. They would get into the themes.
The faculty and staff get into it.
Yeah, which makes it fun.
Do you remember in 2006, that was the last in-person drive skit that they did. They did like a God Squad, Bazillions versus faculty, but they were all student impersonations. Jeopardy kind of a show.
Yeah.
That was the last time they did an in-person drive skit.
I think there's a good chance that we see that this year.
I would love to.
Yeah.
That live anything can happen kind of feeling. I know it puts teachers on edge, but
I was going to say that there is a reason that they got rid of it now.
You're making us sound ancient.
I know. I should stop.
That's the one part. At least when it's on film, all the Mike Carrier or the rest of the administration can watch it and look for things.
They get final cut.
Yeah, you get final cut.
Well, that was Carrier's senior year. Like it was his class that did that.
Yeah. We had. I was my freshman year was the last year of Breakfast Drive before we moved here, and I remember the boys, like, it's hazy in my brain, but I remember the Boys Bowl skits there where they were basically like, just don't blow up the school. They were, it was,
please.
Yes, they were like, whatever you do, I don't care. Just make sure the building is still standing after the end of the drive.
Did you guys work on either on skits or anything while you're here?
I worked on my senior year. I did.
You did?
Yeah.
Go ahead. Keep going.
Yeah, I was going to say, what was it about?
I can't remember. I was just trying to remember. I know we did one of the skits was based around conspiracy theories. There's a professor, Mr. Duforge here, who was an English teacher, that I don't even know if he actually was into conspiracy theories, but that was just something that we assigned to him. But
as we do.
Yeah. But I know it was centered around that, but I honestly can't remember.
You can't remember what it was about?
No.
Yeah. And I did a winter sports. It was a little tough to do a lot of the drive stuff when you had to go.
Yeah,
go
right.
Do practice
when you're doing
and stuff.
practice and stuff.
Yeah.
Did you play sports?
I did. I was on the football team.
On the football team. Actually, I remember reading that because you said you really liked that CC maybe wasn't always the most talented group, but it was the group that worked the hardest.
Yeah. I should reframe that because we did have somebody that went to the NFL on our team, but we were never flashy. We just kind of wore other teams down, which I liked.
Yeah, the kind of the grid of it all. Yeah. I think that's a Detroit thing.
Yeah,
we like that.
Yeah.
My year was pretty bad at sports, if I'm being honest. We did not make the playoffs in football my senior year, and
we had a little bit of a dry spell for a tiny bit of time, but now we're back. So back on top.
I mean, a dry spell. The team was still pretty good.
Yeah, that is true. The team was still incredible. A lot of final appearances.
Yeah.
It was kind of one of those things. I think with having a legendary coach like Tom Mack, and then trying to figure out, okay, what are we going to build now that he's retiring? Now that he's gone, and that's got to be really difficult, especially when he's had the tenure that he did here at the school, right? I mean, that's crazy. Yeah. So I don't know. And we've had a lot of coaches like that too with Coach Magny. So I don't know if I'll be here in 50 years still coaching esports, maybe.
Is Coach Magny still here?
Oh, yeah. 52nd?
Yeah, I think
51st?
So. Yeah. He's still coaching. He's not teaching anymore.
Yeah. Is he still in room? Oh, so he's not in room 13 anymore?
No, not in room 113. I think that belongs to...
You had him for homeroom, didn't you, Steven?
I did, yeah.
So did I, yeah.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome.
Yeah.
Best homeroom for sure. Just Cadecophobia. I still have the t-shirt and everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, he had a lot of... I have a lot of good Mr. Magny stories for sure.
Yeah.
Do you have any Mr. Magny stories?
Just the tricks of decaphobia.
Just that one?
Yeah. Yeah.
I tell this story all the time, but I don't think I've done it on the podcast. He used to be a chauffeur for the Ford family.
Okay.
And this was during the Detroit riots.
Okay.
And I guess I always forget the Mrs. Ford's name, but she wanted to go into Detroit to see it.
Yeah.
And I guess they drove there and he took a look at the city on fire and he turned right around. He said, we're not going there.
That would do it. Yeah.
Which is crazy to think that's one of his jobs before high school.
Yeah. I have one of my fellow 08 alums, Ronnie Katakowski, does a fantasy football league every year. And he's been doing it since we went to high school. And Mr. Magny has a team in it. And I thought that every year Mr. Magny was actually playing. And it was just a couple of years ago, he told me that no, he just makes that team for Mr. Magny. He's been making the picks for him since our freshman year in 2005. But he tried to get him to join it. Apparently he said no. And then he just made the team for him. And he's kept it up for 2 decades.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
In his room down here, I'm guessing this is no longer a thing. I'm sure they fixed it. But kids for a senior prank had timed a bunch of alarm clocks for 113.
Okay.
And put it into the ceiling.
Okay.
And he's he had maintenance go up there. He had gone up there and they tried getting all the alarms. They couldn't get them all.
Yeah.
They're just so well hidden. So and it was funny because as time went on, this was probably I don't know, maybe 15-ish years ago. So like the clocks were like completely off.
Yeah.
They weren't going off at 1:13 anymore. They just go off random times throughout the day.
Oh my god.
You're taking a test and you just hear alarms going off and stuff. But actually, I don't know if they still have them there in the room. It would be interesting to see if
That's funny.
Mr. Mack has to deal with that ever.
Yeah.
Sure.
You guys have any fun, memorable stories kind of like that from your time here?
Senior prank. I mean, when I was here, the school was brand new, so the administration was like, "Do not do any senior pranks that damages the school, or you'll be in a lot of trouble."
Yeah.
My freshman year, there were some good ones. There were a lot of bowling balls that came down the alleys or down the hallways in Old Breakfast Drive, and a couple panels of glass that were shattered in the courtyards. But
Mad bowler.
yeah, but we were pretty heavily scrutinized here.
Yeah, I was gonna say I remember Sean might know the story better, but they'd gone a little too far with
The first senior class year.
right with pranks. And
I think they did something to the baseball field. They planted like trees in the infield or something, and they burned 2006 into the outfield. And they got into a lot of trouble.
they basically did property damage, just illegal.
Yeah.
Yeah, that set the stage
that set
for
the
what
tone.
you're not allowed to do here.
Yeah, so they've tightened it up.
Yeah.
I don't even remember if we did really senior pranks, or if we did, they were really stupid because they hurt. If I remember correctly, we did like the fart spray in the hallways or in the stairwells.
Yeah.
But we had to walk in them too, so it was like pain for us.
Oh yeah, we had those the stink bombs. I remember that.
I forget what they were called, but I just remember like the kids who did that. I was like, why? I was like, we're also the ones who have to walk through this.
I think ours, I know that someone dressed up as a banana with a group of gorillas that chased them through the hallway. But we were in Father Ward's class on the lower level on the far end before the addition was there. And I could see them getting dressed in the parking lot prepping to do this. And I'm sure the whole wing could see them getting dressed in the parking lot. So I don't think they made it very far through the doors.
So
you just unlocked a core memory. I've totally forgotten.
Yeah.
You bring up Father Ward. Do you guys have a good bazillion story each?
We had, Father Ward was clear as mud. Anyone who fell asleep, he'd come over and give you a rap on the knuckles. But I think I was the last class that had Father Donaher teach us, which was pretty great. That was pretty special. I think he taught us Catholic faith my freshman year. So that was big for us.
I remember I was in the study hall my senior year, and Mike Harrington, another guy in our class, was taking a nap, I'm pretty sure. And he was just on the floor, like laying down. It was towards the end of the year. Everyone was just studying for finals, and he was just tired. And Father O'Neill came in and was like, "What are you doing on the ground? That is not what the library is for." And it was just, I don't know, just the picture of Father O'Neill yelling at a kid for napping. It was hilarious.
Yeah, I had O'Neill. He was a good one too. There's some great stories from that class. I'll share one with you guys because this one's pretty legit. He had plants in his class. So, and he had a big thing about no water in his classroom. Like even like water bottles, any of that stuff. He'd make you pour it into the plant to feed the plant. So, one of the kids had just finished physical education, came to Father O'Neill's room with a bottle of water. Father O'Neill poured in the plant, feed the plant. You know, you're not supposed to have water in my class. And I was like, all right, goes, pours the water in the plant. Next day comes in, fills a bottle with vinegar.
No.
That's
Not drinking from it, walks in, Father goes, pour it in the plant, and he pours it in the plant. This thing died. All the plants died the very next day.
No.
That's so mean.
That's so bad.
And, Father's just obviously wondering what the heck happened to my plants.
Yeah.
Well, I would just like to say thank you guys very much for coming out and sharing some stories with us, talking to us a little bit about what you guys do and what you guys spread off into the world and kind of give off GDK. Do you guys have any final thoughts? Anything that you guys want to share? Anything that you're working on besides the show?
There's not much outside of the show.
I mean, if you're listening to this and you know of a cool treasure story, or if you're looking for something, feel free to email us. We're always looking for more stories.
Give the tip.
No, I appreciate coming back. This is my first chance seeing the new school. I think I was telling Sean Suva this when he was walking us around, that it's cool to see all the different things that have spread out that students can do here with the flight simulator and the robotics lab, and then all the new chemistry labs, in addition to all the sports that we knew have always been here. it's cool to see all these different pursuits that students can have. And I think that's really unique in a school.
Yeah, I think that's been one thing that we've actually really been focused on with the expansion is giving kids like different niches to follow, right?
Yeah.
It doesn't have to just be sports. You can come here and you can focus on robotics. You can come here and focus on DECA.
Yeah.
There's a lot of different things to do. And that's kind of our biggest advice is just get involved.
And the esports, your whole setup there is awesome.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. I mean, that's professional. That's legit. That's cool. That's exciting to see.
We started in a closet. So it was actually similarly to you. We started during COVID.
Yeah.
So it was one of those things that literally the first day of tryouts.
Yeah.
March 13th.
Yeah.
I won't forget it.
Yeah.
That was when Michigan shut down. We weren't able to hold tryouts. Actually, we moved everything online, the Discord, and it actually kind of worked out perfectly because that was
It gave people something to do.
Yeah.
100%. I remember Aaron Babbitt's calling me and letting me know the esports team would be carrying the torch for the school because everything else is shut down. I was like, oh, okay. That should be no pressure.
Yeah, that's a lot. But yeah, that's I think that's special to keep kids, working and being invested in CC, but actually being able to pursue things that really interest them and they're passionate about. I think that's a great thing to have.
I think you two are just kind of an embodiment of that you can go off and do whatever, right? As long as you kind of have that work ethic.
Yeah.
Which CC is a great proponent of teaching young men for sure.
Yeah. Definitely.
Cool. Guys, thank you guys so much for coming out.
Thank you for having us.
Hope you enjoyed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great.